I want to see how they lane it all. Because I feel like PA against Tiny IO in the mid can just get destroyed unless they stick somebody there.
To select heroes.
What?
Okay.
Is this a core Kunkka? No, Moo is
it
playing
can't
Tusk.
be.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
Okay, so Chessie's going to pick up the Jakiro this time, okay? Well, it's not something he's played a huge amount of, but I guess it's probably okay. I'm not the biggest fan.
I believe in that more than the PA. I'm going to still stick with complexity. I think that the Tiny IO is enough. I think that they have something up their sleeves with the Tusk, and that is going to be enough. Like, he's going to be able to set up kills around the map along with the Kunkka. I'm going complexity.
Tusk, another hero whose stock has been on the rise. I'm also kind of a believer in the Tiny, just having seen it the last few days, and with the new patch again, like this will be a time to evaluate it with fresh eyes. But I like complexity draft as well.
Okay. I'm not. I don't know if I'm all on board with these thoughts, but nevertheless, there's a Jakiro in the game, so what the hell? Who cares? It's going to be fun with a two-headed dragon. Talking of two-headed dragons, let's head back to your commentary team. We've changed things up. Two heads are better than one, so we've got Toby1 alongside.
See which head's which. Either way, I'm Toby1. This is Blitz.
Terribly excited.
What's up? I had a comment for that, but just like, let's cut it.
Let's cut it.
Keep going.
We'll move on. We'll move on.
I was gonna reply, and I was like, I'm being baited here. The last time a person made jokes like that, I was here in Shanghai. He didn't make it home.
Well, let's leave the whiteboard behind. Let's talk about the game, man. Complexity versus LFY. The drafts have come through. LFY willingly giving IO and Tiny over to Complexity while we have the Tuskar last pick up. Do you think LFY knew what they're getting into?
I mean, if you watch Complexity play, and even like through somewhat rigorous checking, like you just open up their Dota buff page, the fact that all of their Twitters, they keep posting photos of Tiny, like they really like this hero. If it wasn't enough that you saw, like, I saw them like all post about it, they really like the hero, they think it's broken, it's one of Limp's favorites. They were one of the original Tiny IO teams. Remember, they almost got to TI with it.
Yes.
History could have been changed completely in the NA quals. DC might not have gone second. They played that Tiny IO game against DC, and they like barely lost. Like, this is their hero in the clutch. Game 5, this is the hero that they're going to pull out.
Well, do we look at it from the flip side then? Okay, Complexity are comfortable with it. They've publicly said this. If LFY can slap them down, is that the better way to do it? Like, you were talking when we were over in the green room before, like how do you actually counter this Tiny? Doom goes off in a matter of seconds, but Disruptor at least sticks around a lot longer.
That was my suggestion.
Yeah, it was your suggestion.
I said Disruptor would be good, because like Black's suggestion was Enigma, but like getting Black Hole off is considerably harder than getting a Disruptor ultimate off. But
yeah,
I mean, he's still pretty good. I think that Roar does nothing against him. The Roar is not very annoying. The stuns that LFI do have, they don't have that constant ability on top of them. But, you know, there's something interesting I want to bring up. If you know somebody's going to pick something and you're able to beat it, it's always like a weird position that it puts you in. Because if you lose to it, everyone's going to call you an idiot. Because they're just like, well, you knew they were going to do it. But if you beat it, you're just like, you open up a whole lot for the rest of the field. It forces like a little bit of doubt on the side of Complexity.
I wonder if it also changes the meta as far as the tournament moves forward. Like we looked at Tiny appearing in a lot of the games this morning on both sides of the group. What happens if LFY is just like, hey, guys, we actually found a way to make it so this guy isn't a pain in the ass anymore?
Yeah, it just makes it easier for everyone to play. And that's the cool thing about Dota is like you have access to very similar information, right? Because all the teams, what they do is they'll watch the games and they'll say like, this worked against it, this didn't. We had a lot of success. They didn't have success against it. Like we saw that Tiny was beatable using this formula. And once you start to like develop that, that's how like, you know, counters get developed, just because like you put heroes through rigorous tests.
And that's like you move on to the next hero that actually replaces them, and so on and so forth.
And it's just like a huge cycle. Although like Venom was like never cycled out. It's like the one hero that.
But he was buffed up too easily.
That hero was just like, I'm glad that this patch is what it is.
Hey, his life's a lot harder on the dire side now the bounty rune's been moved. Then again, the bounty runes are worth less with the pack that came out just last night. So
what? The bounty rune still on, dude. The bounty rune's great.
You still like it?
I love the bounty rune. As a support, like, you're a poor guy. can't really afford much, or you like found it. The thing about a bounty rune, Toby, is like when you have nothing else going for you, you're happy to see a bounty rune. Like it's
but
nice.
now you don't get as much experience. Like
Yeah,
it's
but
not worth as much.
It's like the intrinsic value of like clicking a gold coin makes you feel good internally. You're just like, wow, I got it.
It's like, well, okay, well, Zeus gets to do that all the time with his taunt anyway, or we just start playing Super Mario.
Nah, but it's different. It's like, you know, your support, your life sucks. Like you have to support people that, like, especially in a pub game, you might not necessarily like everyone that you have to play with, and everyone's screaming in your ear about stuff, and you know, you don't get to be a part of kills. You die in like 2 shots to this like pebble man that like chucks trees over your head.
Yeah, and then there's that one core who's just like ripping you a new one for it all.
Yeah, he's just like, you know, all the wards are out of stock, but you know, he's pinging like, we need wards. But you know, then you find a bounty rune, and all of that becomes okay. It's like the soccer mom equivalent of wine club. Like, you know, you just have a bunch of kids kicking and screaming in the minivan, and you just, you know, you get a little bit of time to yourself, and it's nice.
What, and your mum's just there glocking a bottle of red wine, and
Yeah,
like this is the way you get through kids club.
Yeah, it's like you just need something in life to keep you going. That's the bounty rune.
And I really wonder what your family was like growing up on that front. Then
That's great, man.
did you actually drive your mother to drink?
That'd be. Well, this is like some weird dark conversation now.
It really is. It really is. All right, I guess to reconnect in a second. At least we have Ahfu back. Still waiting on Beastmaster to return.
He'll get back here. That hero, by the way, is aces.
It's aces. So you're okay with LFY picking it because you're like Raw doesn't do anything in this like against like the Tiny or whoever, and they first picked him. They first picked him in the draft.
Yeah, but conceptually, like the hero is still very strong.
Which ways like do those strengths actually work against complexity in this game?
I think the vision game is always really nice for the Tiny or for the Beastmaster in general. Like, you get to control the Roshan area very easily. I know China teams are really good about vision. I think it was actually like Kyle that told me once. He's like, Dota always boils down to like 2 things as like the meta develops: vision and stun. You need to be able to stun people. And I think a lot of the Chinese teams follow that. Got a lot of stuns. They got good vision. Plus the Beastmaster like synergizes nice with the Disrupt. Fly Hawk-in overbound, and then you just like glimpse somebody back. It's nice.
Do you like the changes to Call of the Wild? Now that they're merged together.
I mean, it continues like it makes the hero a little bit weird. Because the hero was clearly lacking something, and what it did best is that it shoves in the waves, and in that regard, they made that even better, right? Because you just have an extra neutral that shoves in the waves. It's like you essentially get a Helmet Dom. You get like a 2,000 gold item for free.
Yep.
Still 2,000 gold? Yeah, it's 2,000 gold on the dot. So like you just get a 2,000 gold item for free, added to one of your spells that, I mean, you're gonna get anyways, which is kind of weird, right? Because most of the time, like, that's why I think they buffed axes, because you want to force people into a position where it's like complicated whether or not you get one or the other, but like everyone's gonna get max Call of the Wild.
Yeah, just to get that extra one. Now, was it in the older patch? It was only 1 point up in axes. Everything else went into like Call as well as in a beast.
Yeah, they're like the common build is like 0441. Just like didn't even get a level of access sometimes.
In this game, like I suppose he's got a decent amount of synergy when you had both the VS aura plus the Beastmaster aura up, but can you keep up with the PA?
Yeah, that's the big question for this game, because at the end of the day, like you have a bunch of melee or melee-like cores, and then you've got this like Benj, which interesting to me as a core, has always been pretty interesting as a core. But they're gonna just try to run them over. Like this, the one thing every team should know about complexity is like they come to fight. It's been a while since we've seen them. Like Dota's been sadder for it because they're a fun team to watch. Like they're gonna run at you. They like enable, or they embody that like more than anybody is. Super succinctly puts PC boom, 2 boom.
I always enjoyed the complexity, the meta breaks, like when they're able to find something which is just easy to manipulate. What was it, the Axe Wyvern? They did with the Ancient.
That was at Epicenter.
It was
where they first revealed that.
Yep, that was when Liquid were having their run, and I think that was the newbie Liquid finals, right?
Yeah, that
The
was
first
New
epicenter.
And then I think that was the one where Kuro, game 5, he did AA to counter the AUK.
I think my favorite moments from that tournament was actually Chuan moving on his line all the time. Like that was wonderful.
He played Enchantress that last game.
Yeah, we actually have. Alright, so I was about to say the wonderful things about Ahfu and go for him on Sean, but we're actually going to go to a short break as we'll try and find out what went boom and then make it go unboom. We'll be back.
Where was it nice? Radiant was pushing. Or was it? Okay, never mind. Everyone just go bottom.
And we're back. Things that went boom were boom, then replaced. LFY versus Complexity, game number 1 of this 2-game series. And our second series of the day. I'm Toby1 here with the amazing Blitz.
I
Amazing.
really hope this match ends up being of any
Knowledgeable.
cosmic significance.
The main reason that Storm Spirit continues to be nerfed when you jump from mid lane to bottom lane and get a kill without even actually having to use like an ability apart from ball lightning.
Man, everyone, come on.
What
You know,
happened?
you,
Give
know
that-
you
give
are the
that hero
catalyst
back.
for that nerf, right?
Give that hero back. It's like 2 years of that I've had to like wallow and play other heroes. And it's finally good again, and then it immediately gets nerfed. What's wrong with people?
Hey, we had a successful Storm Spirit game already today, right?
We did, and
So-
we had an unsuccessful one too, so it all works out.
That way. Well, if he has too many successful games, it's just going to be balanced completely again. So let's get our minds back into this game. Zfreek and Limmp running that mid lane duo, IO and Tiny together. They're already playing around with Super, tossing him in deep. Actually, a bit of damage, but the body block they can do a little bit more.
wants
but
it again.
Have they got it again? Yeah, they do. Gonna
He's
pull him
trying.
away from the creep. There's the other toss, back with the creep wave. Super. Real issues, bailing out. Zfreek will take 2 range creeps and try and just zone him out. And, well, mid lane, difficult for PA.
He's trying to make it so that Super can't salve, and he's doing a very good job of that, on top of the fact that Super...
Oh, that's South?
Well, he's...
Oh, he actually cancels it
Yeah,
too.
exactly, and this is why he did it. He's like, oh, well, maybe I can get it off. No. And look at Super. He's going to TP to the lane with no salve, 200 health, and his game's just like straight up, it feels ruined right now.
How is this lane meant to work anyway? Like, you have Ahfu, like, you can praise Ahfu's Spirit all you want, but what does he do to actually change this lane matchup?
Well,
Like, you purposely gave him Io Tiny. There has to be a way to win the lane.
The thing is like normally when you play this Earth Spirit, it's a kill hero. You want to set up or at least be extremely annoying. But the downside is like because the Wisp is just going to sit there, Zfreek already has a full bottle. It's not really as necessary for complexity. Like there's no rotations that they're making. They're welcoming action. They feel like they're going to win the fights. And they most likely will, like when it gets into the 2-on-2 engagements, and that's why Ahfu is saying like, this is not exactly what was planned. Not really able to go down there. Bottom lane, I guess, is the best place that he's going to play around, but even then, apparently this Tusk off lane is quite strong too.
Apparently for now. Moo's going to go into the trees to try and hide away from the invisible Earth Spirit. I'm about to catch him off guard, and well, there's already your first little kick. Rolling ball forward, Moo dropping low. He will
really
get back to the
tanky.
tower with the shots. He holds Ahfu in range of the tower. Inflame's able to grab the aggro of that, so the tower hits will not bring down Ahfu, allows him to salve up and continues the hunt for Moo in the tree line.
I was thinking about it, but that was pretty close. As Moo gonna pop his own salve now, and you know, I mean, all 3 cores are actually doing pretty okay, even with all the shenanigans that happened with the Phantom Assassin. He has kept up in CS. He's barely behind the Tiny. Chessie, meanwhile, up at top, not having the easiest of times, as Venge getting more or less free farm. And I thought the laning configuration would work in Complexity's favor, but so far it's been pretty decent.
It seems a bit odd that, like, with some of the lanes, like, okay, you're running the Jakiro, you're running the Tusker. Are you happy seeing these guys as cores? Like, is this meant to give you that big power shot going into the mid game, or at least like once you cross that 10-minute mark?
Yeah, definitely, but I think laning-wise, it's going to matter quite a bit how the laning phase shakes up. Just because, once again, Limmp tries to go for the toss on Super, this time unsuccessful, and that got the level of Phantom Strike. Considerably harder to kill him. Super is just spamming out daggers, doing a very good job of CSing as up top.
Yeah, Chessie. Well, he's on the wall, but they didn't really have much more to give.
They've got like a brother in each lane. The synergy isn't there.
Oh, they're going again on this. It's Super. Real issues for him. A Stifling Dagger. Trying to slow down Limmp to the that can't connect with the balls. And the damage from Limmp will be there. Able to catch him underneath the tower. Zfreek and Limmp does the job.
And they needed something like that, just to kind of instill the fear in him. And this is a lane that you often see a lot of kills happen, because it snowballs so fast.
There you go. The brothers are both in the same lane now. You are going to miss on the torrent from Kyle, so DDC can try and turn this around. Ahfu comes in. They're going to glimpse back onto Kyle and then lock him inside the wall. There's not a lot Zfreek can really do to save him. He's going to tether up forward, but this is really just delaying the inevitable, or is it? The torrent, Kyle needs more space. The damage is there from DDC. Working with Monet, they're able to get that return kill. So it's a 1-for-1, even if you are trading your mid for a support and a heavy
Tosses him
rotation.
back once again, gonna get hit 1-2 times by the tower, but Limmp that any other follow-up stun. They're not willing to commit the stun to that. Probably would have gotten the kill, and so things are going to reset a little as Limmp going to start making his way forward. Stun's going to connect.
They got extra health. If only they could get that toss off. You had already the torrent coming in, and now Zfreek and Limmp heavily under the tower. Zfreek is taking so much damage. The hit from the tower will kill him off. Limmp will retreat. And that perfect timing for the kick just really interrupted. The torrent was right on the money back position.
Limp's going to go for it again, and he's just going to get the kill. He pops his stick, has the mana for it, and Super going to get soloed out by the Tiny. Even better for Limmp, not having to share the XP or the gold with Zfreek. A little bit greedy.
Is that a math problem there? Not understanding the amount of damage coming out of the Tiny?
Yeah, he probably thought, like, oh, he doesn't have mana, but Limmp had just enough stick charges. It doesn't cost as much, only 230. Probably thought he was probably in the range of survival anyways, but does go down, and Super now has died twice. This lane, which looked kind of promising for him in the beginning, Toby, is now snowballed out of control the other way. As wow, I'd like to really see Moo start making his rotation.
Yep.
Can't imagine Tusk really needs that much farm comparatively.
Going again on mid. Inflame is going to move up through the mid, through the bottom lane, coming up the river. So they do have the Roar available. Ahfu with the kick out to catch out both. They're trying to focus that IO for the moment, but the toss trying to pull it back in range of the tower, and the creep wave does remove, locking in LFY. So IO will die, but they'll bring down both the Beastmaster and the ES4 while up on top lane. Chess still the run. The disruptive wall is going to hold him there. Super moves underneath the tower. Super will go down. The aggressive toss is out. Kyle is still alive, makes a break for the tree line. The observer ward is there, but DDC still does not have that vision. The brother comes to hold the brother's hand. Together they move forward towards DDC. Where's that torrent? It doesn't connect.
Good.
Still, that mid-rotation by Moo, we were talking about it. This hero doesn't need a lot of farm. And the better part about it too, Toby, is that the Beastmaster's rotation was forced out as well. And so they didn't even gain anything out of it. They lost the Beastmaster. Moo was able to make the even more successful rotation, which further adds to this Tiny's net worth. 3,800 to his name already. The Beastmaster, who is tops for LFY, going down at the same time. Very successful swing of events for them so far.
It's just that full moment where you're like, okay, LFY, like you mentioning it, like either you're gonna look like a fool or look like a genius if you can beat it.
I mean, so far, the answer isn't quite there for them, but of course, they have done such a good job with the Jakiro, as we're going to see this replay here. The Sharks were so good, Toby.
We'll come back live to watch Moo being in chair in the bottom lane. They do have that extra stomp. Nothing like an extra neutral for Inflame to bring down Moo, and they'll work together now with Monet and Ahfu to add some pressure on the bottom lane.
One of the better creeps that he can grab, with the Centaur being able to follow up with the stun. Very nicely done, but still not the target that you necessarily want to go for, as Limmp continues to farm out. Now Chessie's got some space in this top lane. You notice that he's shoving in the waves so that he can start getting some of those liquid fire stacks on the tower now.
Yep. Keep that pressure
bottom tower.
even if he doesn't prioritize it with the 2-1-2. Monet, Shards just holding him and forcing him to take extra damage on the bot lane. Yeah, there's that shove you're talking about, DDC. He's getting a little bit of extra experience just sitting in the sides, but there's not a lot you can really do against the Jakiro. Doesn't have a friend to help get that kill. But again, we see that rotation into mid lane.
They really want to do something about this Tiny.
Oh, with the Invis rune, they might be able to do so.
But he understands. If you go on the Tiny, the whistle will be there. He knows that there's a decent chance that Zfreek's going to go for the down instead. Does have the Call of the Wild up in just 1 second. We'll have the available to him, and with the balls connecting, I think Zfreek should know about this. He's pinging like crazy.
They're just body blocking up the stack for the moment. This is at the end of the day is what the Invis rune turns into. Kyle smoked up, runs over, but it's already too late. The Tiny has blocked the camp, forced the attention of Zfreek at least,
yeah,
and now going to go for the courier snipe. Okay, not going to happen. The courier, in fact, reveals him and allows Chessie to back up towards the tower. He couldn't just walk over and roar.
They want mid, though. He's waiting for Super to edge himself a little bit forward. And Limmp trying to give this away. This was a commitment from Kyle. If he does get the X, it should be a kill. Trying to give him the move speed bonus.
Doesn't happen.
Ahfu's there.
Super's observer ward was able to watch the movement of Kyle. I don't know if he actually got there onto the
One
cover
you
of
has
smoke
figured
or
out
not.
that
I
there
think
are
he made it
actually things
through
in
the
this world
smoke,
other
but
than Dota.
I'm pretty sure that Super just is kind of being attentive to that situation right now. They didn't know where the gank was going. Monet was also playing a little bit passively at bottom lane just in case.
Gold from my chest.
A dire scan's not going to be able to connect. They're just hovering around on the top, but not really forcing the issue that hard. It's
Chessie
just Inflame up there.
get axed.
There's just no opportunities at the moment with the rotations. I say yet for both sides, but once you have IO level 6, this seems to be a lot easier
Yeah, things
for
change.
complexity.
And look at how poor Super is right now. Got 2,200 net worth. He's getting catapults chucked at his forehead.
Oh, they're going to go again. X-Mark spot and Torrent, trying to keep Inflame off the back of Chessie, who now down the Ice Master, doesn't hit on the Beast Master, however, but they need that damage. The glimpse away. It's going to at least send one back out again. That's going to be the Io Storm. DDC cuts the fight in half, and Kyle caught on the wrong side of the tracks. Now Limmp and Chessie retreat back to their tier 1 tower. Limmp already with that Blink Dagger 10 minutes in. But this is not the fight that Complexity are really looking for, and we do see that counter to the IO maneuver and to any kind of TP support to come in when you've got that either snap for tether or just the glimpse back.
The glimpse being one of the better ways to deal with him, but at the same time, you really need to start seeing Kyle land some of those
Radiant's
torrents.
bottom
So far,
tower
haven't
is
really
being
connected
attacked.
for him just yet. A little bit off on the timing. If they're going to get kills, that's going to happen as Kyle is going to draw out the bow.
Oh, this Torrent and Bow combination is going to hit on up with the Macropire. He has to sit there and tank it. Even the breath. I don't know if that's going to be enough damage. Okay, it will. With that last attacker like flying down towards him, they'll find the kill, but Monet trapped inside the shards. DDC walls are back up again. Monet wants to get back out of here, but the snowball pulls him out of the wall and the reload, bringing Limmp into the fight. Chessie did not double kill, and you know they're going to go for more Zfreek. 5 seconds will be too long for him to escape from this extra set of blaster that was there. But the dual breath is out once more. The Roar onto Moo. He can just tank through this X-Mark to spot Inflame. Got nowhere to go. He pulled back into Chessie, but then again, maybe that works for him. No, it doesn't. Chessie with the triple kill. Able to tank
DDC.
through it all, and now DDC, he'll find the kill thanks to that Thunder Strike. Carl's looking for a little bit, but is it going to feed the support? No, it won't. Limmp has arrived. The kick won't come through. Limmp a little bit late. He tosses the tree forward to bring down DDC, and Kyle, he'll barely survive Zfreek. Medic on the front line. What a mercy player.
And this is exactly what you expect in a complexity game. High octane action. Both teams destroying the fight non-stop as Super.
going
He's
again.
getting low. He's going to go down.
Oh, boy.
He cannot catch a break in this game, Toby.
He's level 6. He's against a level 10 and a level 11. Like, gank heroes.
He has less XP than his Disruptor, and I think this should kind of signal to Super this isn't working. They need to start moving him around the map. As bottom, Monet's going to get gone on too, as Moo is very tanky. No Roar available quite yet. The swap's going to follow.
There's your ball. It's going towards Monet. They're going to try and keep him in close. Hellbear clap. Nope, it's just going to be the normal hit in from Inflame. But they got a large amount of minions here, both Necrobooks plus the extra minions of Inflame, so they can focus on the Kyle. The ship will fly forward and Limmp. Oh, he's just having a tossing good time. DDC holds him in position. The one way you can control the Tiny at the moment in the meta. Wall him, storm him, but the rest of LFY is still in the neighborhood. Roars are out, and the double damage beast is running out. Chessie trying to battle underneath his own fire, but Super keeps his distance and allows the stifling dagger to do the work. And it's Complexity losing a couple of heroes, and that was a much needed kill from Super.
Yeah, he really needed something to get back into the game, and even with that kill, still considerably low on the totem pole in terms of net worth. I mean, you're giggling now, but it's like...
he got like a full level and a half out of that,
I
so
know.
it's fine.
He desperately needed that. He's still behind the Disruptor in levels, and DDC, for me anyways, is well known for being one of the poorer supports in games. Like, this guy is a hard 5, and with his Bracer and a Wand, he's very close in net worth to his PA for a large portion of the game. And that's just to give you some context to how underfarmed he is.
Oh, there are ways back into this, and you can see LFY doing it, trying to match Complexity's aggression. But Complexity don't even to be aggressive. They have Limmp moving through the stack, maybe most efficient, and now efficient. It's all efficient.
Yeah, now he's going to take it with his tree.
What the? Dead corpses floating into the air.
weird animations happening, but Tiny is now very strong.
Remember, this game's esports ready.
So as he grabs another tree on his way out.
Aggressive move from LFY. They're going to 3-man smoke inside their own jungle. The line being drawn to run almost vertical from where they are. But this is going to be a hard gank. They don't have any vision on the other side of the river. And now Complexity, who, like, both teams have a ward watching the bottom rune.
Yeah.
But both teams are also smoked up, so no one's going to see anything.
This is a huge fight. We talked about how Complexity, they want to run at you. It feels like LFY falling into this trap a little bit. Picking these mid-game heroes. Super, he has a TP, but how much support can he provide? Tiny Wisp at the ready right now. They're trying to make the full flank happen. LFY, though, they've got the high ground.
They see him. That Observer was doing the work. The courier comes up. Okay, Walrus punched out. That ended up having, it was the Necrobook. It was the Necrobook level 2.
Would have been a significant pickup for them, Toby, but instead now they're going to show that they're all down there with the courier kill going down that way.
Yeah.
They're going to make their way towards mid, which is a very nice trade for them.
Well, Limp's cleaning up the creep wave pretty quickly, and you got the catapult wave with you, so why not? But this may just end up being a tier 1 for tier 1 tower trade.
Yeah. But of course the mid tier 1 tower means quite a bit more. Complexity, you're going to be incredibly happy with this, and they grab the courier.
Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
So net win for them.
Yeah, and it's more and more time for Tiny to get bigger and bigger and bigger. Do you actually have a late game answer to the Tiny? Like with the amount of damage the PA can do with all the Sons of Control that LFY has? Oh, Kyle. Oh, goodbye, Kyle. Sacrifice.
No!
And that is the synergy between the Hawk plus the Glimpse. It's really going to be able to survive that. I think they do have decent answers though. Like Kia gets like absolute 6-slotted. Oftentimes like the problem with Tiny is like his high ground has been a little bit mediocre. That's why the cool part of Complexity's lineup is that they've got this Meteor Hammer Tusk coming in on top of this Jakiro.
He's actually building it?
Yeah, it's the build, I guess. There's like
there's a lot of debate on the Meteor Hammer.
It's kind of cool. Like you can charge people, place Meteor Hammer them down as super. Life does it get easier for you? No, it does not.
They even cleaned up the entire creep wave, so they had nothing to blink strike to.
Yeah, and he just keeps getting things chucked at his head. Life's really rough for him right now.
God.
You think he's having a good time, Toby?
No. No. He's going to be thinking right now, Complexity a bunch of tosses.
The rest of his team's kind of still doing okay though. They're doing all right.
Oh, Complexity will do something about that right now. They're going to move down to the bottom lane. The tier 1 towers will start to fall like dominoes.
Radiant's bottom tower
You've got
is being attacked.
the liquid fire plus just the entire fight that can come from Complexity. How does LFY even get in position?
Radiant's bottom
You don't
tower
for that
has
tier 1
fallen.
tower. Did you draw a line?
I don't know. Right now, I don't think that LFY can really take fight. So the game is just like scary for them as a whole. Like they don't feel comfortable moving in anymore because this Tiny's just like absolutely massive. And if they don't get the good combo on him, and that usually means like the disruptor, then the fight just goes from like bad to worse. And you can't afford to do this against Complexity. Like give them this much map control because they will continue to run at you. Like they will take every fight that is afforded to them. Like they're one of the few teams that I'd imagine defend most their tier 1s. Like even at this top area, you notice that Moo is set up with the Meteor Hammer.
Yeah.
He's gonna cast it from vision. Look at this.
Just outside of it. Then Sean forward, but cleans up the creep wave. LFY, full retreat.
Yeah, and this is what I mean. They're one of the few teams that will defend that tower. Because most of the time, what ends up happening, Toby, is we saw in previous games is Radiant go for that tier 1 tower, and you just mirror them, and you go for the bottom tier. But because
Gold
Complexity,
for my
they're so
chest.
obsessed with their fighting style and being active on the map at all times, it's okay for them. Is Moo gonna get swapped out? Picked as well. Here comes the silence, and this is more than enough to bring him down.
Good storm. And this is space created for LFY, but Complexity is stacking so heavily. Almost every time we bounce into the Complexity jump, is either watching Tiny farm a triple stack or is watching the support stacking.
Yeah, and they're trying to do this combo again. Glimpse with the Hawk. They see the wisp. They're gonna see if they can bring him back, and that is enough time to hitting on that kick. But here comes the stun.
Oh, the avalanche space created a little bit more, but now Ahfu, he's throwing the hit from Limmp. He's able to reach it. He's tossing the tree forward towards the Beastmaster. But I suppose if you take away the trees of Limmp, he can't really work with much more. And you see his fist, really? They reach that far out?
Look at that stun duration, barely last.
And again! Oh, support is there. Limmp had the triple kill. Monet doesn't want anything to do with this. And now Super, what is he doing in here? Come on, man! You had a chance to not die. But he comes in to give Limmp the last one for the old kill.
Super's like, I know this feeling. He's just like,
Bounty.
Don't leave me out of this. I want to be part of the cool kids. If we all die, we all die together.
his team's dying. He's like, guys, I know how to do this the best.
Radiant's top tower is
Like,
being
this is a
attacked.
familiar feeling.
Radiant
They're gonna
structures are
go down.
fortified.
Limmp picks himself up an ultra kill. I mean, there's a whole lot to analyze, Toby.
Radiant's top
That is a
tower is
huge
under
swing.
siege.
Well,
in
you
favor
can
of
watch it again
complexity.
and analyze the fight once again.
The kick looked okay, but look at that three-man toss.
Radiant has lost their top tower.
I still cannot believe the range of Limmp. Like, okay, you can toss the tree here, and DDC thinks he's got a chance. He even turns for a second, but that punch.
Look at the Venge stun, how long it lasts. It literally lasted for like half a second. He shrugs it off.
We're back to lives. The roar is out. Jakiro. Yeah, he's only got 1,700 lives to get through. Well, he's got like one of the highest strength gains of a support here, and now you've run him as a core. Macropire,
Torrent connects.
Ahfu, Torrent. It does do a lot of work, and that's going to allow Ahfu to tick count for Chessie. Glimpse a long way. Zfreek. Oh, the storm is. He'll have to get to separate it. Chessie will end up going down. Moon couldn't actually get enough control over on Monet, and LFY.
might be their
Super.
fight.
Well, he's got the feeling of death from before. Now he's actually inflicting it. A double kill for him. The controller's out. Moo is low. Going to retreat out. This one, Monet will take that kill. And Complexity lose 3. Tiny and Kunkka limping their way home.
A little bit too unsuccessful as... I mean, they felt way too confident right there. The Tiny couldn't really get in, work the space that he normally does. And thus far, going to be an unsuccessful fight for them as LFY finally beat back.
It's more needed than that one kill that Super got up on top lane. He has more net worth now than the Jakiro, so yay.
Yes, that is... You
Cause
gotta
for
take any sort of
celebration.
positives. And that was a huge swing for
Is that
Super.
his Desolator too? Yeah, that's actually his full Desolator coming in the
He
courier.
has like a reasonable amount of farm now. He's like 8 minutes behind his timing, so he's like gonna be pretty happy. Like the Deso, the power spike that you get from it is quite significant. The hero becomes quite a bit better as a result of it, and now
Are they grouping around Roshan? They're around it,
they
but
want
it looks like it's more of a kill.
yeah, they have Necrobook plus a PA and Venge. Like this is the reason why these heroes synergize very well, because you can take these objectives very quickly, and they have a lot of artificial boost on them. The Beastmaster is going to give a lot of attack speed. As I say that,
Goodbye, Ahfu.
yeah, goodbye. It was nice knowing you.
He's almost finished that Assault Cuirass on the Tiny. Like, it's the best thing in the world that you actually managed to pick up that Desolator now, because once that AC is up.
They're thinking of just going in and smoking. You pop the Necros.
Yeah, they're going in.
Does Complexity have any idea of this? They don't have the best vision heroes. They look how quickly it goes down.
Yeah.
Radiant's
Thanks for
bottom
knowing you,
tower is being
Roshan.
attacked.
First Roshan dead.
Roshan of Radiant
And they're going to beat a hasty retreat. Kyle, though, is in ward pool. He's going to try to take it down with his dying breath.
No,
to
no
come
dying
back
breath.
immediately
Hits the torrent,
after
creates
you're murdered.
spectators.
That was weird. I thought LFY would take that fight.
Yeah.
They could have just held him back.
It's like they got another objective instead. Like, they're moving towards the tier 2 tower up on top.
But this will likely be a trade. Complexity, they can send their Jakiro in to spam it out with his Macropire, but
I don't know if LFY really want to push this though. Like, that Necrobook is time, like, with it timing out, like, do you really have the strength in the fight?
I'm not sure. It'll be close. This Tiny is still a
Dire's
beast.
top tower is under siege.
Absolutely gonna reign supreme, but right now, Ahfu looked like he
Radiant's
wanted to
bottom
set up for
tower
something
under
at
fire.
bottom, but not able to do so.
Complexity
Radiant's top
unobliging
tower is
on either front,
destroyed.
either on the tier 2 tower up on top or by pressuring the bottom. They just go farming Limmp up. He has finished that Assault Cuirass now, and what a surprise, there is a triple stack. And again, Sada's dying in the air.
That's sad.
You're like a couple of steps closer to heaven if you do that, right?
Yeah, but like your friends like body floating in the air, that sucks.
Everyone, you would die in the clouds, right? Who wants to be buried? Like, if you were buried in a cloud and then buried in the ground, you'd be buried in a cloud.
Dire's middle
Yeah, just like
tower is
permanently
being
float me.
attacked.
If I'm ever a billionaire, like I have crazy ideas, like that's the first thing I'm gonna do, Toby.
So the first use of a hover platform is going to
Dire's
be
middle tower
to
taking
preserve
damage.
Blitz's corpse in the cloud.
Weird ass topics. Anyways, LFY.
It's just the brains, man.
Dire's middle
And
tower
they're looking
is
for an
being
opening.
attacked.
Kyle, not visible for the moment, so they don't get the
Dire's
guns
middle
back on
tower
him.
has
But
fallen.
LFY making the most out of this Aegis, the complexity refused to fight into. Take a tier 2 tower up on top, a tier 1 tower in mid. They don't look any of these building positions themselves, and this will start to cut into the complexity jungle. So all these stacks which have been coming their way, like maybe that's just when complexity switched the mindset. Let's stop farming ancients, let's start farming heroes.
Yeah, and with that stack completed, I mean, this Tiny still continuing to scale. Gonna go for the evasion himself. Continues to hit hard. Still, I think they're trying to slow down the pace of the game because you can't afford another unsuccessful fight like that. If you look at the net worth swing, the downside of having this, like, plus this Jakiro is, like, these heroes don't do too much in the way of, like, farming. Like, they don't really scale as a core. You're meant to win all these mid-game fights, and now you're starting to see LFY come back a little bit, and Super, who's had like the most miserable game ever, all of a sudden has 2 items. And Toby, he is ahead of almost all cores in the game aside from the Tiny.
He's gonna believe in the RNG, man. That's the place to go to.
He gets like 2 successful crits, like that's the comeback.
Yep. Get a lockdown on the batch. Just keep building up and building up. Do you actually keep building into more damage, however?
I think
Or
he
do you
needs to
get
be
something
KB.
more like SBKB?
Yeah, and thinking
Yep.
if Super wins this game, by the way, he's gonna be the most hateful person. He like the amount of suffering he's had to go through this game, he would do it, but deserve has nothing to do with it as complex game. It's firmly in their favor for second go, but now it's a 1k lead fact in favor of LFY.
It still feels odd though, like it feels like complexity have the unkillable Tiny. Like we haven't felt the effect of Zfreek in these fights just working with Limmp most of the time. I wonder actually in the last engagement if Zfreek's just been prioritizing trying to save whoever gets initiated on.
Yeah, he is. But this Tiny so far, like, okay, so you're 11-0. The downside though, Toby, is like if you die once on this Tiny, it really feels like the game ends. Like, unless it's a 5-for-1 trade or something like that, but if you're losing Limmp, you're probably losing the fight. And if that's the case, then the game kind of goes out the window. Because there are scaling cores on the side of LFY. Like, you have PA who will continue to just get stronger and stronger. Same with his Vengeful Spirit. This Beastmaster is very powerful right now. Whereas on the complexity, who do you really have in favor of doing damage for you? You've got this Tiny, and, well, that's about it.
You willingly chose this. You willingly put a Jakiro and Tusker as your 1 and 3.
So that you can take these fights, and that's why they want to try to take this mid fight. But it's scary for them because DB's hiding. He's very good counter so far against Complexity's heroes without any BKBs.
You never know when you're just going to get kicked, swapped, and critted down. It's... But okay, so how are they meant to help you take the fights? Like, right now you're losing the vision battle, so LFY seems to know when Complexity is coming at them.
Yeah, the Hawks.
Yeah, so how do you stop that? You don't have flying vision yourself. It's not like you're running around with a Night Stalker. So how does Complexity actually get the fight they're looking for?
I don't know, it's really difficult because it is a vision-based game, and if you notice, Inflame is just popping the Necroblip. Not even to take fights, just to scour things out. You notice that Moo's cleaning them up right now, but this is meant to get rid of all these deep wards that Complexity could have potentially placed. And so far, they've been pretty successful.
Where are those Complexity wards?
They can't place any.
They have one defense. Okay, they have 2 defensive ones on the bottom lane now. So the one which watches any that movement over towards their shrine, and then the other one which watches towards the tier 2 tower.
Yeah. Vision is vision at this point in the game. Like any sort of wards that you can get out is going to be helpful for you to isolate out the map that you can potentially set up for fights.
That's when you need to have the stat like the average length of ward survives.
Complexity though, they're gonna smoke up. They know there's no wards under here. They've got like 8 sentries planted around that area, and Moo Meteor hammers down that top area. It's gonna go pretty quickly now. It's scan through. Can't quite find anything yet. Burr doesn't have that Aegis or BKB. He would be a really nice target for them. Complexity. They could get the high ground area and maybe force this Beastmaster up. It would also be a very big kill for them.
He's in the neighborhood, but once again, Inflame's too good, just scouting out with creeps. There goes your Hawk. Kyle, well, Blink roar forward. It's Inflame going in, and the Storm is out perfectly. Kyle will take up a lot, but it's Limmp stuffed up. You do have Chessie with a great back-to-pipe position, but Monet, that fresh BKB, he's ready to fight once more. They glimpse back Limmp, and swapping him around. One more attack will do it over the wall. They do bring him down, but what is the cost? Now that you've lost the Tiny, it is a 2 trade-off, but LFY looking to keep fighting out. DDC needs to the glimpse. It just came back off cooldown, but the vision, it's not there. Hawk's too far away. Kyle just on the edge. The vision is able to TP successfully home.
Still, look at that goal change. Normally when you're the team that's ahead, the goal change goes the other way when it's a 2 for 2 like that, but because the Tiny was worth so much, Toby, we talked about it. When he goes down, the game feels really out of control because, yeah, I mean, you're trading 2 for 2, sure, but that's still an 11-0 Tiny that you were resting a lot of hopes on.
Yep.
And now, Toby, it looks like it's the other way. Remember, we talked about it. If you lose with Tiny, or if you win with the Tiny, the enemy team's like, oh, why did we do that?
Got it.
You look a little bit silly, but if you're able to beat it, it opens up a lot of things for you in the draft.
And we're watching that jump in again. And complexity. You said they wanted the high ground, but literally in a ditch.
Yeah, they walked up into LFY, and that's such an awkward position for them to fight at. They didn't want to fight in that high ground area because there's a shrine so nearby, but walking up that area is also suicide without any vision.
Yep. That's why they tried it. They put the sentry ward down. That's how that all began. It was Kyle moving forward to drop the sentry to try and get rid of LFY's vision. The Hawk was there from Inflame.
Yeah, now he's going to send Beast, try to clear up some more vision. Doesn't find anything so far. He knows there's vision around the area, but unable to figure out quite where. As now Super almost has a BKB completed on himself. That's going to be the next massive swing for him. And Complexity struggling for answers right now. And we haven't really seen, like you talked about, very astutely pointed out, Zfreek and Limmp haven't quite had that synergy quite yet.
Yeah, they need to, but then again, like maybe you flag the point, like you lose Limmp and you lose the fight. What's Zfreek meant to do? Relocate him in aggressively behind the tower? Did you turn this into that split push game?
Bottom tower under fire.
So Zfreek and Limmp just force out one lane, then you come into the area where potentially get initiated on by Beastmaster.
And the Disruptor.
Ahfu is, like, his control is really good in that last fight. Okay, yeah, he died when jumping in, but he did what he had to do. He kept 3 heroes from Complexity stunned up and controlled while they put Chessie down.
I think Complexity definitely need a gem of their own right now. Like, the vision game just isn't going in their favor. They're steadily losing out, and the vision game matters so much in games like LB because the vision game enables your Wisp to be able to make these plays where they can make these aggressive relocates. As Kyle jumps to ship, no pun intended, shoots that X out, but it's only an illusion.
I'm fairly certain your pun was intended.
It actually wasn't. I promise. I can make claims like that.
Yeah, just like I'm not Mafia.
Just trust me.
I'll give it a shot. We'll see how it goes.
There is a Shivas though on this Jakiro. So it's like steadily starting to get better.
That armor rise is at least nice. Sustainability from Complexity is very, very good.
Yeah. Now there's a butterfly completed too on this Tiny, which is one of the better ways to deal with the BA.
He's going to go for a BKB of his own. The butterfly. So at least he's got an answer to DDC. Yeah, I didn't actually see, like, who was it that actually had the BKB in the fight? Because I thought for like in the last fight, it was PA who had it, but she's building to it.
Oh, Monet.
Okay, that's Monet. Yeah, there it is. With the up, snowball protection. Storm going to be completely wasted with this. They snowball forward. Okay, not wasted. It lasts long enough. The Chessie will go down. Moo could not save him, and now smart to spot Monet. They're going to try and pull him back into the torrent. Limmp putting that damage to work, but the 4-stars. Monet, Hurricane backing himself out again, and Limmp is in way too deep. LFY, they have the control, they have the magnetize, and they have a triple kill onto Super.
Super is slowly starting to become vindicated at the beginning of the game, one of the best early games that I've ever seen. And now he hits hard.
3,000 fight from him. out of the 8.8k that was done from LFY. And now you give him, well, he'll take the cheese. He's that confident. He'll give the Aegis to Monet. And they're really going to push the issue. 54 seconds without a Tiny back. And that swing of the graph. Oh, very vertical.
Yeah, 9k now for them, as it feels like they've just won like the last 5 fights in a row, and yet Complexity only down one kill. But it doesn't matter because later game kills, of course, meaning a lot more, as Torrent's gonna fly out.
The 4-star into the swap. Goodbye, Kyle.
Because Rum isn't gonna be able to save you there.
Like a drink a toast to his corpse.
Still 24 seconds. Cooper, he just wants to continue to move forward, and he's gonna do so.
The Stifling Dagger bash on the Zfreek. That's the energy you're hoping for. The Storm is down once more. They'll lose Tusker. Moo was trying once again to go for that save, but damn he's so quick on his Disruptor. The stuns are there. The mid-rax is gone for Complexity. Tiny might be back alive again, but LFY are here in force, and they're here to stay.
Yeah, the team plays from them so far has just been absolutely absurd. They're going to grab a second set of racks with this. Too many heroes down outside of Complexity.
The only thing that stops them from taking the third is that tier 2 tower and bottom. It's still up.
They are going to be incredibly satisfied with that. They build another 8k on top of their network quickly that they had before. Might even rise after this. It's taken to 19, a 9,000 gold swing in the span of like seconds. Absolutely absurd.
They can just keep going anyway. Like move down, take the bottom shrine, tier 2 tower.
Yeah, they're paying. You saw the line from John right now.
Yeah,
Like,
move bottom, force the lane out, keep the pressure up.
Super, he senses it. He's, guys, this game is ours. Continue to make our way down. They can't stop us anymore. Monet still has the Aegis on him too. And he's getting steadily so farmed.
They did, I think, burn the cheese in the fight on the PA, so she doesn't have that anymore. But with an Aegis Immortal on a VS is already this strong, sure.
Yeah, plus you got your Abyssal Blade completed. I mean, there is a BKB finished on a Moo, but I'm not certain like how much of a difference this game it'll make.
It doesn't seem to make that much anymore. Like you've reached the point now where it's the physical damage that's ripping you apart. The magical control is just locking the Tiny down. He needs his own BKB, really, to function.
Bottom lane, Monet's just gonna push out.
Giving him so much money. Doesn't he have enough already? So wait, is Tiny actually moving in to Shadowblade now?
Yeah, I think he's trying to go for a Silver Edge for the PA, and he needs his mobility, but it's still pretty rough considering the Necrobooks are almost always out on the side of Inflame. Like, he just keeps popping them out with the vision. They're going to make their way forward, maybe even hit the shrine. This entire map is owned by them now.
No. So no way to flash farm into those items like the Shadowblade or the Silver Edge. No way to stack because you can't protect.
You're going to have to take a fight because Monet, he's got an Aegis. He's pinging forward. They want this. They're even going to grab the shrine on their way in. They can be as greedy as they want. Get that 20k gold lead.
Gotta watch that time from the Aegis the Immortal. That's going to be the critical thing. You're going up high ground. So, alright, so it's not that far off being expired.
And that's why LFY going to go for the push, and they're going to essentially force Complexity into a do-or-die situation. This is your last racks left. You absolutely cannot afford to take.
Okay, well, that's one way to do it. Toss him in deep, keep the snowball up. If you kill him close towards that tier 4 town, then you got a chance to kill him off. The Aegis Immortal is gone, but you've already got the other V up and alive, fighting. Monet turns over was Limmp. The relocate saving him out, forcing the BKB out from Monet, but they need something else here, Complexity. Both the BKBs have been popped super. Phantom strikes himself away with the Aegis on. LFY will retreat, but Complexity, they wanted a kill from this. They didn't just want to make him retreat. They needed more.
I think they're going to be okay with that, considering they popped the Aegis and a lot of BKBs were extended. They didn't lose anything. They took some damage on the tower, but not the worst of situations for them. You got to look at the silver linings when you're in a situation like this. Like, when you're this far behind, they'll take what you can get.
Well, they take that, but LFY continue to take map control. Tiny is barely holding that #1 position. Net worth. When it's 22,000 the advantage of LFY.
Still very farmed. Just doesn't really have too many options left, as they're going to make their way go down. If they lose this fight, you could conceivably see them GGing out, but they don't want to just get their tower taken slowly. They're trying to make an aggressive move.
LFY is so far back. Like they're actually at their tier 3 tower in the mid.
Yeah, they're being incredibly disciplined about this. Like, okay, they're not showing on the map. Let's just hide. Our creeps, that's the benefit of having super mega creeps, is that the creep wave always pushes in and will reveal locations anyway. Like, nobody defends that top area, then you know for a fact that they're smoked up. It becomes very, very clear.
Oh, there's so much money on the VS. Mask of Madness, MKB, BKB, AC, plus the Hurricane Pike. It's a beautiful day if you're a VS.
She's incredibly farmed.
Oh, Limmp. Can they get the initiation off? Boris there, super. Monet needed to be the one in range, but they keep the vision up. Glimpse back out. They need to save Zfreek. He's preparing the reload. Here she comes in, but yeah, okay, you'll pull him out in time. That continues forward. Moo rolling boulders in, but it's super. In very, very deep with that double damage rune. Can't actually hit his mark, however. Looking for the crits, but not really getting him.
And Complexity, it looks like they're trying to trend this right now. Super starting to get low, like you said. Force pulled back, and here comes
out.
Moo.
Walrus punch. The kick is there from Ahfu. Looking for a little bit of extra control. Super jumping down. They just keep on this PA. Will she go down? The force up, down, and boulder. They'll pull him back in again. So Ahfu will be the one to fall. Super barely alive, but alive nonetheless.
That would have been such a big kill for them. Manages to evade everything. Ahfu has to trade his life, like you said, but well worth it for them. Complexity with another successful hold, despite being down 20k. Toby only takes 2 of these. They have heroes that can deal with these creeps too. With Hero and this Tiny, they can just cleave their way through them.
I'm disappointed Zfreek doesn't go for the Ags upgrade.
Yeah. Super Egg.
Yeah, he went for the 90 Spirit Hero.
I mean, is it really that effective for him? Like, he's got the... Does the Ghost Ship just, like, still pull you? Is that the upgrade of it?
That or Jakiro defense.
The Jakiro defense is kind of funny.
You just buff him up for that short period of time.
Just that, like, the huge block.
Yep.
It's like... Everything's on fire.
You may have needed it. But you also need the damage onto the heroes of LFY, so... You can understand it.
Tusk. I haven't really seen the Meteor Hammer synergy quite yet.
He's just been using it as counter push more than anything else.
Like, in that way, it's kind of cute, but... I mean, it was a pretty expensive purchase.
Over other potential control items or initiation items. Yeah. Things that which would have freed up space for the Tiny to not get destroyed all.
I'd imagine it looks a lot better when you're ahead and you can use it to, like, push high ground safely. But when you're behind like this, it just kind of feels like you get 12 strength, 12 int, 4 HP regen out of it.
Yeah, what would you do to Complexity abating with Moo at the moment? It's a little too obvious for LFY to bite. As they wait themselves, they got so much control. Halbert plus that Solar Crest on Inflame and everything else that he brings to the table.
You notice, by the way, that Kyle, he's stacking up on all the armor items he can for cheap. Like, he's got this buckler, and he's got this casual chainmail that I can't imagine he's got any aspirations of building into anything. Easier. It's just kind of there.
It's the sacrifice, right? Like, just as long as he can survive long enough to get his combination off. Oh, mid lane, there's your initiation going in, and we'll see if he can survive. Kyle, the storm is out, but he's going to live with the roar into the back line. Moo perfectly controlled, lost the gem of True Sight. They'll turn their attention towards Chessie. At the same time, Limmp, super playing with the relocate out. He'll do some work for Chessie, strapped into the rune spot. Monet will find him, and with 3 heroes down without buyback, it's about to be 4, unless some kind of trick from Zfreek. No, not even all his talent can save him from that situation. 4 heroes down, 3 without buyback. This will look to be the game after LFY are able to take out Roshan once more, and this will now be 3rd Roshan. So we'll add the refresher shot to the mix up too.
Yeah. And the cool thing is that
this could be double Beastmaster everything.
And Limmp right now, with his tree, his one tree man against the world. Nobody's got buybacks. They can't help him out. He's just got to hold on for dear life.
Yep, well, good luck, Limmp.
Here
Like,
he goes.
no pressure.
He is instantly going to get gone on.
Into the trees, gets the avalanche, and bash. Just hit. At least you get the swing back out, but it's a straight buyback. I'm just going to work with him. They've got the fortification, so at least trying to blind LFY with the new animation lights. And then hitting, oh, Moo! Right in the money. They're going to get the storm down at least. And now how much life can Zfreek give him? They're trying to glimpse him away. They push him out. They break the tether. There's a dieback. Tiny, and that is GG. Well played. LFY will take game 1 after what was a bit of a rocky start. It was still all super.
Yeah, Super had his vindication. He had his revenge. He had to weather that storm early on for his team to succeed. And that's what matters, Toby. Not the early game, not the mid game, not the late game, but getting the W.
They got the W.